Hello and welcome! Silrace here with Overwatch, and I want to talk about comfort pick versus counter pick. Now, sometimes the stars align and these two end up being the same thing, but let's first, explain what I am talking about actually. So comfort pick is any hero you are actually proficient with. You feel comfortable playing that hero. Like you have a clue what you are doing, you don't need to look at your abilities, you know what they are doing, what they do, and you basically have an idea of what kind of heroes you can actually go against and even win. Counter pick, on the other hand, because of how Overwatch has been set up, certain heroes are inherently weaker against certain ones and inherently stronger against certain ones. If I use a simple example of Tracer as the poster girl of the game, being quite weak against McCree simply because McCree's flashbang completely stops Tracer in her tracks, and then the right click essentially erases the Tracer from the map every single time. That's the counter pick. However, people talk often about this whole counter thing without taking the comfort pick into account at all. And I think this is absolutely the wrong way to go about life in general, especially in Overwatch. Because if you have no idea how to play McCree, as is the case for example for me, I have played almost none of McCree. So if I decide I will need to do something about enemy Tracer, the question always becomes, okay, do I pick the actual counter pick, which I do not know how to play, or do I pick a hero I am more comfortable with, but might not be a direct counter, so to say, to a Tracer in this particular example. And this is an important distinction to make. Like I mentioned at the beginning, sometimes the stars align and you end up having both. Like your comfort pick is the absolute counter and then you are golden. But if you are in the position where you must win a game, for whatever reason you must win a game, the question always becomes, which one do you go for? If you have no idea what to do with a certain hero, you are not very good with it, then it might be better to go with your comfort pick even if it's worse against that particular hero. And this is something to be said about actually having that comfort pick. Essentially, only way you can get a comfort pick, as I would call it in quotations, is to have played that hero in the worst possible matchups and learned what it can do in various situations. Essentially, playing that Tracer against double McCree, for example. Something which absolutely destroys you. If you are better than they are, you can still come out on top, even though you are at inherent disadvantage. That is always an interesting question to me, like the whole comfort pick versus counter pick, and unfortunately a lot of people discount the comfort pick entirely. They're like, okay, this counters that and this counters that, and so you play this or this against that, and then it's like, well, I don't know how to play this hero. Then it's about, learning how to play it, and obviously the way to learn is to play against somebody who's better than you, somebody who hopefully absolutely crushes you, so then you can learn from that of like, okay, to actually counter that I need to adjust my playstyle in this fashion. For example, I would love a matchup of myself finally playing McCree against a really good Tracer. The one time I played McCree, I actually didn't come across Tracer, and I haven't been playing McCree because I've been enjoying other heroes at the time, or my own amusement anyway. Anyway, I hope this opened the mind of some people out there to this particular thing, because firstly you are supposed to have a comfort pick, something you can always jump to and feel at home. And that only happens by running it in many different situations, even the ones where you are absolutely getting countered. That's the only way to know how know and learn what all you can get away with the hero. And also, counter picks, while they are important, they might not be the correct answer always. Sometimes definitely, but not always. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and listening. Hopefully this was helpful to somebody.